Welcome along to another Pixiecast, and I'm staying in the UK today, and I'm staying in the town where I live, and I'm actually staying in my house, and I'm talking to my beautiful wife. Hello, Jordann. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. Where are you?
Hello. I'm in the upstairs bedroom.
Okay, lovely. The one with the lovely chosen wallpaper.
The one with the lovely curated wallpaper by me. Yes.
Uh-huh. Some of which is peeling off. It looks like behind you.
Yes.
So, bit of work to do there.
Well, you better get the wallpaper glow out.
What? So, how are you, my love?
I am fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just living my best life.
Has Tilly reappeared or not yet? Is she
No.
she's gone back downstairs?
She's gone back downstairs
Uh-huh.
to destroy lives.
Okay. Cool.
Might go back downstairs, kitchen will be on fire, something like that, you know.
Probably. Should
Usually what happens.
making herself an omelette or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
Trying to heat up some dog food.
So you're in sunny Columpton.
Costa del Columpton, yes.
Yeah. Actually, it's pouring down with rain at the minute. Well, kind of raining at the minute. So
It's a bit sort of miserly, isn't it?
it's a bit crap. Yeah, certainly. So but you're not from Columpton, are you? Where are you from?
I am from Adelaide, South Australia.
Ah, cool. So what brings you over here then? It's a long way to come every day for work.
I married a man.
He was a good man?
Don't know, remains to be seen. The jury.
That was a Frank Black joke. Don't worry about it.
I married a man, and then I moved to the UK to live with said man in what could only possibly be described as the worst weather ever.
And it's been like that for 5 years.
6 years now.
5 years. Well, 6 years since you came over.
Yeah.
6 years in February it'll be since you came over.
Yeah. So
5 years. 5 years of glorious marriage.
Yes, 5 years of glorious marriage in 3 days' time.
Well, yeah, we should explain that we kind of had two marriages though, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had the legal one.
Not like a dodgy tax dodging way.
No, but we had the legal one, didn't we? Because you only had 6 months to get married by the time you came over.
Yes.
So you came over in February. We got married in the June 2015.
Yes.
And then we had a big party. I nearly said a rude word. Then we had a big party.
What rude word did you say?
I was going to say we nearly had a big fuck off party, but
I don't think anyone would hold it against you.
In pool, I know, but I'm not normally the one who swears on these things. It's normally my guests. So
I bring it out in you.
We had a big party in Poole, Dorset.
Yeah,
at the Italian Villa.
Yeah,
and that's in 2 days' time. Actually, the anniversary of that is the 23rd of October.
No, it's not.
Well, what do you mean? No, it's
24th.
Is it 24th? Oh, well, you're quite right. It was the 24th, wasn't it? Shit. I'll edit that bit out. Not 24th. No, you're quite right. Because we'd had the conversation, hadn't we, about doing it the week after on Halloween, and I put my foot down and said no.
Yeah, you said no.
Yeah.
But
and is that why you've now put the pumpkins back up and the skeletons?
Well, no, I just put them up because people like them and they're a bit more cheery.
How is a skeleton cheery? I mean,
they're nice and orange.
He's got a bit of a goofy smile, admittedly, but I mean, he needs to see a dentist.
I mean, obviously, you can tell that he's not a real skeleton.
What? I can't believe it. I mean, he's fake. Oh yeah, I guess those silver button joint bits give it away, don't they? Really?
Yeah, and the fact that he's made of felt.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Jordann, what do you do for an honest day's living?
I work for the National Health Service. As shown by
shown below.
And I am what they call a digital health connector or a digital outreach team communicator, which depends on who you talk to in our team.
Or a dot.
Or a dot, yes, digital outreach team dot.
Mm-hmm.
And my job primarily is to encourage and bolster the numbers of people using online consultations within GP surgeries in a very particular part of Somerset.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So just is it just consultations then? Is it? I thought it was to just use all sort of kind of apps and stuff that's available through the NHS now.
I mean, if you want to get really specific, so you've got two different things.
Okay.
You've got online appointments, which the
Yeah.
GP contract stipulates that
Yeah.
practices must provide at least 25% of those to patients by I think it was April 2020.
Right.
And then
How's that going?
that's fine, yeah.
Okay.
People have met that. And online consultations, there's no particular number that the NHS stipulates that you have to offer to people, but we're trying to encourage people to use it. Especially with the current climate of coronavirus, the less people that we can have visiting GP surgeries, the better.
Okay.
So we work with online consultations, which is 3 main programs across Somerset. So you've got EMIS, Engage Consult, and one of the other ones.
Okay. Thanks.
One that clearly I don't work with.
That's all right.
And you've also got things like the NHS app, not to be confused with the NHS COVID-19 app.
Which isn't NHS, as we know, without getting into the politics.
Well, yes, but it still has the NHS badge. So there has been a massive spike of people downloading the NHS app recently because they use the COVID-19 app.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, that's good for me. But, whether people are still keeping it and actually using it is another story. So it depends on the practice and the PCN as to what you decide to sort of encourage with your patients. So it may be that it's a program that you use within the GP surgeries, or it may be the NHS app.
Mm-hmm.
You can do most things from anyway as well.
Cool.
And yeah, so there are particular practices that do really well with the NHS app, and there are some that don't do so well. But yeah, so my job is primarily just based around engaging the GP surgeries to encourage them to use forms of technology that will only help them ease their workload as opposed to build on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And of course, but with COVID and that, you're pretty much stuck here at home with your gorgeous husband, aren't you?
Yeah, I wake up,
living your best life.
I get off the computer, I go to bed. So.
Yeah. And I cook you dinner sometimes.
You cook me dinner occasionally, yes.
Well, usually
we're into a good routine now, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Every we alternate nights now, don't we? Which is what you originally promised me when we got married, and that never happened.
Did I?
5 solid years before.
I'm sure I promised all sorts of things that I've failed to deliver on.
I say nothing.
Don't most men?
I'm sure.
Excuse me. And of course, Tilly's living her best life at the moment, and Harley just wants to know when we're going to bugger off and leave him alone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So Tilly has not been without a parental figure in the household for like a solid 6 months now.
Yeah.
And Harley just he just kind of lives in a little dream world, doesn't he? He's like Harley Land, isn't it, where the sort of cat treats grow on trees, and he just gets to frolic in nature all the time. So
I think he's still trying to come up with a cunning scheme of evicting us from the house, frankly. But
probably. I mean, he would stifle us in our sleep, but he can't cover our mouth and our nose at the same time. His paws are too small.
So he's tried then, obviously.
He tries with me.
I know he does.
When he gets close up to me every night.
So Pixies then. Tell me about Pixies. You've kind of been thrown into Pixies, haven't you, a little bit?
I have been. My initial joining of the group was to spy on you.
Yes, I remember that well. You recorded a video in this very room in which I sit.
If James Steely hadn't spoilt it, I'd still be there undetected. So
Thank you, James. Thank you.
I managed to get through quite a few weeks in the general group.
Okay.
So, but I noticed over time that there was sort of, I don't know, there was almost a shift in my husband's personality, where he seemed to be having a lot more fun than I was. And I don't deal with that well.
Okay.
I don't like you having fun, and I don't like being left out. So, so I joined it because my husband had sort of taken to not coming into the supermarket anymore to do the shopping. of which I discovered very quickly after searching his name in the group that he was doing car park videos. And mostly the line was, my wife's gone into Tesco, here I am.
Pretty much.
It was amazing to kind of find this whole other world of things that were happening while I was in Tesco. So, well, it wasn't.
Well,
Other brands are available. We did visit Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's every so often. So
in the good days when we had some
in
money.
the good old days,
yeah.
Pre-apocalypse.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So,
you wanted a bit of the action.
Well, I did, and I actually managed to stumble across something. Well, I didn't stumble across it, obviously, because it was a targeted joining. But in order to actually, I'm not sure whether I've ever told you this before, but
I sense you probably haven't.
In order to join the group, there are several questions that you have to answer.
I know. I'm a moderator on the group now.
About like your favourite songs and stuff like that, and I had to Google Pixies and choose some random song titles in order for someone to accept me to the group.
Brilliant.
So,
and what did you go for? Do you remember?
What did I say? I'm not sure, but they were probably pretty obscure.
Okay.
So either the people thought,
cover.
That I had absolutely no idea what I was talking about, or that I was some sort of really kind of obscure niche Pixies fan.
Or that you just shared a name with me and I'm a top bloke, so yeah, we'll let her in.
I don't think so.
No?
So yeah, but actually, I mean, I've come into a group where, although the music is the sort of main focus, I spend most of my time in the Friends of group anyway, if anyone's noticed. But I have also stumbled across this kind of, it's almost like a safe haven, isn't it? It's this place where you can talk to anyone about anything and you can post really weird things about your life or things that you like, and no one judges you for it. And, we've all got such vast lives and vast life experience that everyone is treated as an individual who is totally worth it. And that's kind of, I hadn't even, back in the day, I hadn't even considered that there would be groups or pages like that for fans of particular artists. And personally, in my life, I don't think there's any, I mean, I like a lot of different music, as you know. Mm-hmm. I'm quite sort of varied with my taste in music, but I don't think there's any particular bands that I could pin down and say, I'm going to go and see if there's some sort of fan group I can join for them. I suppose I've just never really been that kind of person. And if there was bands like that, they're probably for old men who don't join groups. So...
or some old men that do join these sort of groups.
True. So yeah, the group came along and it's just kind of like, it's become a really kind of safe haven for me, really.
Well, it was a safe haven for me until you hijacked it and came into it. Thanks. But no, I'm cool with it now.
You're cool with it now, have you?
Yeah.
You've gone through lots of therapy.
It was a bit of a shock at the first time when you suddenly popped up doing a little video.
I bet that you didn't think that I was that tuned in. So...
Well, I kind of knew at the back of my mind that something like that would probably happen one day. But, you know me, I like to just sort of live in my little bubble.
And now I'm in all the music groups that you're in, so you can't post anything nasty about your wife. So,
as if I would. Why would I post something nasty about my beautiful wife?
I mean, if I go right back in the history, there's some stuff about your wife in this.
But it's all positive.
Is it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That remains to be seen. I'll find some examples later.
So maybe not a big fan of the music and that, but do you have a favourite Pixies track?
I like the one about the monkeys.
The one about the monkeys? Would that be Monkey Gone to Heaven?
Monkey's Gone to Heaven.
Yeah.
As opposed to the one about the monkeys. But that's just a joke with us, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Whenever we talk about the Cure's Love Cats song, that's the one
about the cats.
And quite often, if they play anywhere or if we see any concerts on TV that they do, usually my question throughout it is, why haven't they played the one about the cats yet? Yeah. So...
And when I was doing my radio show, I used to introduce it for you, didn't I, when I played it for you a couple of times?
Yeah.
It's the one about the
or
cats.
this song isn't the one about the cats.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that kind of sticks. And now whenever a song comes on about animals, it's usually the one about the particular animal. So the one about the monkeys. So yeah, so I'd probably say I suppose that's my most well-known one. I suppose because I'm a relatively recent Pixies fan, it's very hard to sort of carve a name for yourself as someone who really likes particular songs, because you're still introducing yourself to the majority of the spectrum of Pixie songs, and there's a lot of different Pixie songs. So yeah, so I'd say the one about the monkeys. Yeah.
Okay. And I thought that you liked the Happening one as well, because I'm sure that you played that once when we were out.
I have never played this.
I've never told you that I liked it.
In the
hot tub in the courtyard. I'm sure that you played that.
The hot tub?
Yeah.
I haven't been in the hot tub for about a year now.
The rare occasion that I get in the hot tub.
I don't remember playing that in the hot tub. So
okay, right. Anyway.
And you've only been in the hot tub twice.
What plays in the hot tub stays in the hot tub.
Well, exactly. Hot tub time machine.
Is it twice? I thought it was 3 times. But anyway.
Nope, twice.
Not that you're counting.
Not at all.
So tell me about Australia then. Tell me what's the biggest difference apart from the glorious weather? What's the biggest difference of living in England and living in Australia?
The people, definitely. People in the UK are rude. Rude. No one ever talks to anyone else about what is bothering them. And people just sort of go along their merry lives, just kind of angry at each other because they don't actually ever tell each other directly when they've got something wrong with them. They just kind of skate over it, sort of thing. And people get really angry about standing in queues and stuff. And
we love a queue, but we get angry that we have to stand in queues.
I just think that, like, you know, if you had a problem with someone, if someone has upset you, or if someone has done something to you, you talk to them about it. If you're really Australian, you might just have a bit of a punch up and get it over with.
I could vouch for that, yeah.
I don't resort to that many times on the streets, but, you know, you can never be too sure. But, you know, if you have a problem with someone, then you tell them, don't you? And you just sort of like get it over and done with, because otherwise it just keeps affecting your relationship for years and years and years and years and years. And
is this couples counselling now that we're going through?
Hey?
Is this couples counselling now?
No.
Okay.
No. I think you're well aware when I have a problem with you, I tell you exactly what's
wrong. I'm very well aware. Yes, absolutely. Okay.
But yeah, so people are a bit weird here. They're a bit sort of clam-like, and I don't think it's good for people. But
you like the supermarkets, yeah? I
do like the supermarkets. There's a good selection of supermarkets here, much more than Australia, where you've got a monopoly of pretty much just 2 supermarkets. Here, if you want to go to Asda, you can go to Asda. If you want to go to Sainsbury's, you can go Sainsbury's. If you want to go to my dad's Tesco, you can go to my dad's Tesco.
Yeah, your dad's Tesco just down the road. Yeah.
My dad refers to it as my Tesco because he loves Tesco. He taught all of the checkout operators how to say g'day when he was here last time.
It was like a daily trip for your dad, wasn't it?
Yeah, my dad would be like, do you need anything from my Tesco?
Yeah.
I'd be off, and he'd come back like an hour later and he'd be like, there's clothing there, there's alcohol there. They've got a meat counter.
Pastries and yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So the supermarkets are good. The weather's a bit iffy. The people are rude.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's happy days.
Yeah, it's fine. It's much cheaper here, so yeah, can't complain.
Cool. Can't complain. Excellent. So we went to see Pixies in Plymouth.
We did.
We met some lovely people.
We did.
Of course, we'd already met Pixie and Ant, hadn't we? They came up
we had.
The year before.
Came around for a vegetarian feast around our house.
They did, yeah. Well, I'm not sure it was much of a feast for them, really. I think I just sort of panic buyed and went to Tesco and bought all the vegetarian stuff that I could find.
You panic bought a lot of finger food.
Yeah.
So
my apologies to Pixie. I've never apologised till this day.
I think we were still eating finger food from the freezer for like a couple of months afterwards. I
We
think
were,
we really went for it.
Yeah. And Aunt bought me a very nice bottle of cherry beer, which is very nice. Remember? Yeah. So that was good. So Plymouth, as you all know, it takes a lot to get me to go down to Plymouth.
Oh, yeah.
It's either football or Pixie concerts, I suppose, really. So I'm not a big fan of Plymouth, am I? It's fair to say. Sorry, am I distracting you there? I do apologise.
No, sorry. I just remember I'm still on the clock.
Oh, of course, yes. Excellent. So, and
Load of my boss if she sees
no,
this.
not Ant. Hello. Hi, Julie. Is it Julie or Julia?
Julie.
My Julie. Well, she's not my Julie. But,
All right, Ali G.
So, Adam came and stayed with us for the evening.
Yes.
Introduced
We
us
were meant to have a
this
full house,
country.
but events transpired, didn't they? So
yeah. So Mandy and Kimball were meant to be coming to stay as well, weren't they?
no, but yes, but they didn't manage it, did they?
No.
Had some trubs beforehand, so.
And someone else was going to. Oh, was it Julian? I think, wasn't it? Julian Reese Thomas who was going to come in.
Was it Julian or John who was supposed to come and stay? I thought they were both.
I'd never invite John to stay at the house. He'd never bloody leave. Jesus. John Cole in the house. Come on.
I remember the first time you said to me, "You're going to meet John. I'm not sure what you'll make of him," and I bloody love him. So
he's got his own fan club now. Did you know that?
I bet he does.
Well, I set it up for him. He's got his own Facebook fan club.
Love it.
I don't know why I didn't invite you to join it, actually, but
you should do, because
I will.
I mean, the man's welcome anytime in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go, John. There's your invite. Bless him.
As long as he brings cider, I'm all good.
I will bring cider, definitely. Yeah, it'll definitely bring alcohol. Pretty strong chance it'll be cider, I reckon.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you do like a cider, don't you?
I do.
Did you like a cider in Australia as well, or is this just a thing?
Cider's not really a thing in Australia. You can like those. You can get kind of like the sweet ciders, like Recorderligs and stuff like that. But there's no sort of real kind of. I mean, it might be a market that's up and coming now. I'm not sure, but there's no sort of. When I was there, really, there was no kind of market for a good quality, semi-dry apple cider. Unless you wanted to drink Strongbow or something like that, and that's just like
it's a bit crap. It's like drinking Foster's.
So yeah.
All those other lovely lagers that you send over to us and don't drink yourself.
Brewed for export.
So tell me about the music in Australia then. Before you left Australia to come over to be with your love of your life, what were you listening to?
Settle down. Who knows, there may be another love of my life out there somewhere.
Oh. That's harsh.
I just like to bring you crashing down to reality every
so. Oh, I know you do, my love. You do it so well as well. Always do what you're good at, that's what I say.
It's just a single comment that just brings you right back down to earth.
Yeah.
So the music in Australia depends on the genre and the time, really. It would be unfair of me to say that I'm not a fan of modern Australian music, because that is a very wide encompassing statement.
You love a bit of Kylie Minogue, don't you?
She's not my favourite Australian.
I know.
Won't lie. I am more into kind of 70s, well, let's say like 60s to kind of 90s Australian music. Let's go over a 30-year span as opposed to a 50-year span. And I mean, I make no secret of the fact that I quite enjoy some of the more stereotypical Australian bands like Midnight Oil.
That's right. Good band.
They're a good band, and I enjoy the message.
I only know one song of theirs, but I'm sure they're a good band.
Which song do you know?
The one that was a hit over here.
The one that was a hit over here.
Yeah. Forgot the name of it now.
We'll have to look it up later.
Yeah.
So I thought...
Is that Pete Garrett, isn't it? Is it Pete Garrett?
Peter Garrett, yeah.
Yeah. He's a politician, isn't he, in Australia?
He's a politician now. Fair. Is he a Green or an Independent? I can't quite remember. Well, he's a senator now, as far as I know. He's in the Senate.
Gosh.
So,
I'm just looking it up.
sorry?
I'm just looking it up.
Oh, you may have to link to a video of Mr. Garrett dancing. I think that
Okay.
would be appropriate at this point in time, at this current moment.
Beds Are Burning. That was the one that was a hit over
Beds
here.
Are Burning,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1987.
Yeah.
Wow. You weren't even a thing then, my
Particularly
love.
big hits.
You weren't even a thing then.
I was not even a thing then, no. Doesn't mean I can't still enjoy it.
No.
So, I mean, another one that is Australian that, I mean, was only really a one-hit wonder, but is also politically motivated and Australian-based is, and I listened to it the other day in the kitchen, you went, what's that? Is Solid Rock by Goanna. It even sounds Australian.
Goanna.
Sorry, are you
No.
imitate me again?
No.
Interesting. It sounds like you did.
That's a punch for me later on after this.
Yeah, and I enjoy bands like Cold Chisel, which are quite traditionally, I think, seen as a bit of a bogan band, a bit of a chav band.
I was talking about them the other day when I was talking to James Farrer, I think it was.
Yeah,
and I
but they have a
Cold
massive
Chisel.
following in Australia, and they.
So how would you describe Cold Chisel then?
Well, I suppose it's Australian rock, isn't it? It's just kind of, it's not progressive rock because that would be Midnight Oil. It's really quite classic, really. It's quite classic rock, but they've branched over sort of many decades now.
Yeah.
And they still, as far as I know, they still continue to make music. And Jimmy Barnes, although he sounds a little bit like someone stepping on a cat sometimes.
Wasn't he Scottish?
Yes. Is still one of the most easily recognisable vocalists in an Australian band and possibly around the world as well. So, I suppose it's for people who like Australian music, those are the bands that they would hear the names of and go, I could instantly name you a good handful of songs from each one. But yeah, so I suppose one of the main things about me being number 50 for the Pixie podcast is that I suppose the thing that matters the most to me about the Pixies group is the actual group itself and the people that are in the group.
Yeah. And
I suppose people are probably expecting for me to have chosen 3 Pixie songs, and that ain't happening.
That's fine.
So
and plenty of other people haven't done either, so that's fine.
So yeah. But
and you make the rules up in this house as well, so whatever you say goes.
What can I say? You know? I mean, I try and give you equal say, but sometimes you make it really hard for me.
What, because of my terrible choices?
Yeah, you do make some terrible choices.
Okay, so...
Shall we take your jumper, for example?
What, this jumper that you bought me?
No, the jumper that I made you change into from the other jumper.
Well, this one that's I've just flung on the floor. That one?
Yeah, that one.
The black
yeah.
one. That's also one that you bought me as well. This is from Australia.
I'm not knocking the fact that I bought it. I'm knocking the fact that you were going to wear it.
Tweed River.
Tweed River? I don't...
Yeah. I think it's from Target.
Oh, could be. Yeah.
Well, they're saying it's from Australia. It's actually made in China, but you know.
Target. Yep.
Or as Donald Trump says, China.
Beautiful country, the most beautiful country ever.
I don't think he thinks that about China. But no, this is from Target as well. I'm sure it is.
You got 2 of those, haven't you? You got that one.
I do. Yeah.
The sort of more khaki coloured one, or is it grey?
Khaki coloured. It's like kind of like a sort of a greeny grey sort of.
Yeah.
More grey than green, isn't it?
Anyway, are we going to discuss the entirety of your wardrobe on this?
Well, now that you've chosen the entirety of my wardrobe and got rid of all the clothes that I had before I knew you. But anyway,
sorry that you choose terrible clothing.
So Cold Chisel then, have you got a favourite Cold Chisel track?
Yes. The one that I'm going to choose is one that used to be first on my playlist when I used to drive to one of my jobs, which started at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So because my job was only like 4 minutes away from the house, it is the only song I used to manage to get in before I started work. So I heard it, I'm not entirely sure how many times in a row. But
Did you not put it on shuffle or something?
Well, I could have done, but I just didn't. And so every time I hear it, it reminds me of that time, which wasn't a bad time in my life, but I've never gotten sick of the song.
Okay.
Which is quite nice, really.
Yeah.
So it's called Breakfast at Sweethearts.
Okay.
And
I don't know why I'm writing this down, because I could just ask you afterwards.
You could just ask me afterwards, although to be fair, I may not remember. So
I've written it down.
Breakfast at Sweethearts.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's not one of their super famous ones.
Okay.
I mean, people know it, but it's not one that people would automatically go, yeah, that's one that I instantly know. And sometimes I think that's quite what I like about it, really.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to take like the second choice, just in case.
So I need 3 songs from you, ideally. So you've got the one about the monkeys.
I've got the one about the
Pixies
monkeys.
Track. You got Breakfast at Sweethearts by Chisel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number 3.
We were playing In Excess in the car last week, weren't we, on our way back from Cornwall?
We were, but I'm not going to choose an In Excess track because In Excess had moderate success in the UK. So
Nick Cave, do you like it? No, I can't imagine you like
I don't
Nick Cave.
particularly enjoy Nick Cave, no.
Rob Farris?
I mean,
2 little boys had 2 little toys, each had a wooden horse.
Are you finished?
Gaily they played each summer's day, warriors both, of course.
Okay, so the third one that I'm going to choose is another Australian artist.
Okay.
By the name of Bernard Fanning, which I'm sure that you'd recognise the name because I have talked to you about Bernard Fanning before.
It just sounds very rude, but anyway.
Bernard Fanning is the lead singer of an Australian band called Powderfinger.
Yeah.
And Bernard Fanning, probably about 15 years ago, decided he was going to make his own album.
Okay.
Sort of just pop out on his own, make a solo album and pop back into Powderfinger when he decided to do so. But
that sounds rude as well, pop back into Powderfinger, but anyway. But
the time that his album came out is roughly the time that coincided with my grandmother's funeral.
Oh, okay.
And
sad face.
Yes. Chill. Which was 2007. Because I was in high school. And
it's for those viewers who don't know, there are a few years between my lovely wife and me.
What were you doing
Carry on.
in 2007, Andrew?
What was I doing in 2007? I was working
for the NHS
as a waitress in a cocktail bar. No, I was I was working.
What, where you saw me?
When I first met you. Yeah. What was I doing in 2000? I have no idea. I was probably working for
Quality and diversity manager, weren't you?
I think I probably was around about then, or an information governance manager, working with the lovely Sean.
Yeah.
Who's not on this group, but he's a good friend of ours.
I was tasked with creating the PowerPoint, which is very 2007, the PowerPoint and presentation for my grandmother's funeral, because I was A, one of the youngest, and B, one of the only ones who seemed to be able to do it. And so I sort of plucked through quite a few songs while I was looking for something for her. One of them, of course, was Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners. And at that age, I wasn't quite aware of the nuances of that song.
Are there nuances to that song? I don't know.
Yeah, there are.
Okay.
So the song that
you're being really rude there, aren't you?
No, not at all. How dare you?
Okay, sorry.
It was played, but it wasn't the feature song. But the other song that I chose was a Bernard Fanning song, which didn't gather too much popularity, I don't think.
What, at the funeral?
At the funeral, but still manages to send all of my relatives into tears when they hear it. So
Oh.
I probably did my job. So it's called...
Yes, make everyone cry at the funeral if they're not already.
It's called Watch Over Me by Bernard Fanning.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so that's the third one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And is that a very Australian track then, is it, would you say?
No. It's quite slow.
Yeah.
It's more of a... It's
a
not
reflective song.
It's slightly more reflective, yes. It takes away from Bernard Fanning's origins with Powderfinger, which is generally sort of quite rocky and a little bit alternative to what is a very kind of sort of slower and more meaningful song, which I think is what he wanted to achieve with that album. The album is called Tea and Sympathy. It was released in 2005.
Anybody think you've been researching this?
No, I had the CD at home. My mum bought it when it came out. So yes, that's the third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Lovely. Excellent. And so going back to Pixies, do you think you're going to sort of get into them a little bit more over the years?
I think I have been, really.
Yeah. Because I really didn't think you would ever like them, to be honest, sort of.
Well, I mean, you think a lot of things about me, but generally they don't end up being true.
Apart from all the positive things.
Well, yeah, maybe those, but I mean, there is times where we sit down now and, you know, it'll be a Saturday night or something and I will have had at least 2 glasses of rosé and I will start up a bit of Pixies on Spotify or something like that, which always takes you by surprise. I mean, by the look of your face, you're always surprised.
It's only because you start singing "You Are the Son of a Motherfucker" to me all the time, that's why.
I beg your pardon.
It's a line from a Pixies song.
Well, yeah, I guess that, but I certainly don't sing that to you. I'd never say that about your dad. So, your dad's one of the loves of my life.
My lovely dad, yes. Yeah.
The bonkers man.
He's a little bit bonkers, but he's 85.
He's a little bit bonkers.
He's 85, so he's allowed to be a little bit bonkers.
He's harmless. He's a harmless.
Well, I don't know about that.
He's not a sort of blow up a mosque bonkers kind of.
Blow up a mosque bonkers. Well, this has taken a different angle, hasn't it? This conversation.
A little bit forgetful, and he likes
a little bit forgetful.
Jokes.
Yes. Oh, he loves your jokes, yeah.
He does love my jokes. So.
And he rather endearingly calls you Jay, doesn't he?
He does.
Which is probably more that he just can't remember your full name. Or his favourite daughter-in-law,
which, you know, is quite easy to achieve, seeing as I'm his only daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
So, and unless either of your sisters declare their love for women anytime soon, I will be his only daughter-in-law.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're going to have to crack on as they're both older than me. So.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, lovely. Interesting concept. Okay. Right. Well, I can't think of anything else much to ask you, really. Is there anything else you want to say about the wonderful life that you have in England?
Well, primarily, really, all I would like to say is absolutely thank you to the Pixies group that I joined first off to stalk my husband, but then became a fully fledged member who relies emotionally upon it. So thank you to everyone, because I have not only asked questions in that group, I have cried to the group, and I have laughed with the group, and I have loved the group. And I don't think that there is any better place, really. So thank you to all of the members who makes it what it is. And long live Pixies group.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
I know.
And I was going to ask you about the naked on stage question, but I think that just seems like a frivolous question now after that.
Is it what if I was naked on stage? What song would I play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the one about the monkeys.
No, I know. Does it have to be a Pixie song?
No, you can sing anything you like, my love.
Oh, cool. So, it'd definitely be a Midnight Oil song, because I would want the opportunity to dance like Peter Garrett.
Okay.
So, who looks increasingly more like he's having a stroke each time.
Excellent. Interesting. So you're not going to do Nutbush by Tina Turner then?
Oh, now you put that into my head. Or I could do Mustang Sally.
Oh, no, I'd have to divorce you if you did Mustang Sally. Christ.
No, I wouldn't do Mustang Sally. I don't think I get enough enjoyment from it. But I mean, anyone who is related to me or has been present at any of my weddings, or two.
Any of your weddings?
Any of my weddings, I had two, remember?
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. The big reveal.
Or anyone who's been around me after I've had at least a bottle of rosé, is that I'm quite good at the Nutbush.
And a couple of ciders.
Yeah, and I will teach anyone that cares to listen the Nutbush. And
it's a bit of an Australian tradition, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't think other people quite get it. I mean, it's not an Australian song by any means.
No, it's Tina Turner.
So I mean, that could be an option. And the other one, I think, probably would be Short Memory by Midnight Oil.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, write it down, or just ask me afterwards, my darling.
It's okay. I'm writing it down. Short Memory by Midnight Oil.
Yeah, because it's one of those songs that is politically motivated, which I make no secret of the fact that I do enjoy a politically motivated song.
Mm-hmm.
But also the fact that pretty much anyone can follow along to it. So, which makes it all the more enjoyable, I think. There's nothing worse than a really complicated song.
It's a good party dance, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, depends on what type of party you have, really, but...
That's true, yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
So,
well, thank you so much for your time, my love.
You're so welcome.
You've been lovely to interview.
Ta.
Thank you, and your beautiful smiling face of yours.
I know.
Oh,
It's
I've
like
noticed though that you've got one blue fingernail and all the rest aren't blue.
They're all blue.
Blue? I mean, a shade of blue. I didn't do an Australian accent when I said blue then.
It definitely sounded like you did.
No, I didn't.
So these ones are a very dark blue. You may be able to see the reflect.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And that one is a light blue.
Right. Okay. Did she run out of the other colour or something?
No, they're all blue. I like to have a feature nail. Okay.
Oh, is that what we call it? Is it a feature?
Both of my thumbnails are shorter than the rest.
Ah, okay.
That's because I like to open cans with my thumbs.
Okay. Cool. Lovely. All right, my love. Well, I'll let you get back to your working day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time and for sharing some of your thoughts about life in England and Pixies and the group and things like that. And what's for dinner tonight?
I think it's going to be the apple, pork and sage pie with the potato topping.
Okay, cool. Which I've got to cook. It's my turn to cook.
Is it?
Yeah. You've cooked the last 2 nights. You kindly cooked for me yesterday because I was going to
tonight.
No, because then you'll have cooked 3 nights in a row and it will just be... You'll never let me forget it, will you? Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll put the kettle on there. We'll have a cup of tea, yeah?
Thanks, Ta.
Bye.